Hello, welcome. Today we've got this SRAM NX Rear derailleur to service. I've actually got quite a few SRAM derailleurs to service. Some of them are missing their cages. I've actually got about 2 or 3 spare cages that are undone. So I'm going to try and make another one out of that. Anyway, this one. It seems to be a little bit rough here going back, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a clean and I'm going to add some grease and we're going to dismantle all the parts. Let's begin. I think we're only going to need a Torx 20 and the number 3 and 4 Allen key to work on this derailleur, unless I find otherwise. I removed the capper earlier on, so I put it back on just to illustrate. So there's a couple little bits here. If you want, you can take these off. I'm not going to bother. I'm going to just remove the jockey wheels first. So this should be a number 3. This derailleur's awfully similar to the SX. I think the main body seems to be made out of metal, and possibly the top pivot here might be slightly different, better designed. Also the lock here is a little bit nicer, and the threading for the derailleur itself are much closer, better designed. I guess for the threading for the SX, it's made out of plastic, so they need to use different screws. Okay, so once you've done that, there's a number 3 here again. Oh no, wait. First, you're going to need to recline the inner cage back, and right here there's a number 3 little stopper bolt that we need to remove. That's off. Now you can let go and this will swing back, as you just saw. So now we can access this bolt. And that's off. We can now open this up. So there's a type of seal, and it's also holding this spring in place. Let's pull that out. Put that to the side. That's everything here. If you want, you can remove this lock. There's a little circle here, but let's take it off to look. Oh, went flying off. So there you go, there's a spring and its pin. Right here there's a cap, and you can use your number Torx 20 to remove that and access. From what I can tell, you can't get access to this type of clutch that's on the inside here. So I guess that's not to be touched. For this little bolt here, you have a kind of a clip, spiral clip that holds this in place. To get access to that, you're going to need a knife, and you'll want to find the one end of the spring, and then using your knife, you're going to need to try and catch it. And once you've done that, you'll be able to lift it up. I think that's off. Okay, and it's just fallen out. So there's the spring kind of thing, holder that held it in place. Looks like there's a tiny little seal and the bolt. I'm going to go ahead now and clean the parts. I mean, my general intention was just to try and clean up the cage itself. So I don't really care if it's super clean, but you'll want to have it sparkling clean and make a good example compared to me. I've given everything now a quick clean. We're going to now proceed onto greasing the parts. I would suggest using something that's not so harmful to plastic, as parts of this derailleur seem to be made out of some sort of composite. I'm going to be using my Shimano grease for this application. It seems that they're using some sort of white grease on their derailleurs. Maybe there's an SRAM brand that I'm unaware of that they use inside the derailleurs. Maybe I'll load that up and I'll find out. So let's grease up all the parts, and then we can put this back together again. I found the clip that went flying off on the floor earlier on. Where's it gone now? It's here. Also, I hope you didn't use anything too aggressive on this part here, as since this doesn't seem to be removable. It could be, you don't want anything too aggressive that goes inside the type of clutch here, as you'll remove the grease that's inside, I'm guessing. So basically, we want to put anything, we want to grease it on any parts that are going to have mainly friction. So I just looked at the SRAM spare parts catalog, and this part doesn't seem to be on their catalog, unfortunately. So I can't tell whether you can get spare parts. I'm guessing you can't. Let's continue. So we've got the this spring. It looks fairly symmetrical. Yeah, so either end, I don't think it's going to be very important. You're going to have a hole at the back of the radar, and you want to put one tip into that hole. So I'm going to go for that now. You want that to get engaged. I think that's in. Yeah. And then we'll have this cover or type of seal. And so one tip of that spring is now going to go into the hole right there. Seat that on the top. Before we go any further, let's put this the little lock back into place, because we have access right now to do that. If you want, you put a little bit of grease on it, but I think it can mostly run dry. So you're going to need to just push that all the way down, and so you've got access to kind of like that ridge where you can stick the clip under. Get a nose clip player and clip that under. Okay, now take the inner cage, so it's this one, quite large. One part here is kind of beveled, so you'll see there's one tip of the spring sticking out here. That's going to go into this hole, and here we're going to have a bolt running through it that's going to seat into the that groove there. And here we want this to be, you'll see there's kind of like a shape for the derailleur, so you want to seat that in like so. And what we're going to do then is we're going to push all the way down, and then after we're going to bolt this down. So I'm pushing all the way down. You'll take the bolt. So one's longer, by the way, because you can get confused with the jockey wheel ones, but this one's longer. Grab your number 3 Allen key wrench, and you're going to start to bolt this down. Got a bit of paper there. Okay, and that should be quite good. Yeah. Now grab that stopper bolt, which we're going to be eventually screwing here. Now in this position, we're going to be going anti-clockwise, and you're going to twist around the cage until it's in this position. Now since there's the clutch, it kind of helps, doesn't put so much resistance. Push that on the side, put it on the side, and get that little bolt, and we're going to screw that back in. There you go. And we can let go. And it should be stopping right here now. Let's put the little plastic cover back on. Let's put our jockey wheels back on. There's two bolts. One's black. The black one seems to go at the bottom. And the larger jockey wheel will also go at the bottom. So I'm going to put some grease on mine. And then I'm going to put that on. There's a bushing that runs through it. Let's seat that through here. Then grab the other end. So it should be, I think, hold on. Yeah, I think it'll be this way, like that. Not too tight, just enough to hold it so that we can manipulate the other one. Put the bushing back in, bit of grease. Let's put those cage plates on. So now we're going to grab the silver bolt. Put that on there. You can put some kind of Loctite on the threads if you want. There was a little bit left on these, so I think it'll be alright. We can now tighten both ends. Let's install the B bolt here now on the top. I've put a tiny bit of grease just to coat it. So there was the bolt itself, which will push through. You then have a seal, a red one. There. And then we've got this little unit part. Mine's unfortunately missing that screw, but that will eventually be pushing against that way. And then we have this little type of snap ring. Well, I finally got it on. That was possibly the hardest part of the whole process by far. About 10 minutes that was on that. No secret. I don't know how you do that properly, but you kind of need to open it up, I guess. I don't know what tool would do that, but it's on, so I'm glad. Make sure you position this properly when you're putting that snap ring in. As you can see right here, I didn't position that properly, and now it's stuck on the right here, slapping against this. So it obviously needs to go in between and not on above right there. So now I've got to do that again, and that's done. So I was looking through my parts drawer, and I just happened to find a screw, and I'm pretty sure it's from an SRAM derailleur, probably some previous one. And it looks like it's going to work right here for the B axle unit. I can't remember what it's called now, but it looks like it's going to do the job. Excellent. you can check the clutch, which should be good. So thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you service your SRAM NX Eagle rear derailleur. Until next time, peace out.